Hello, this is Chelsea Barlow, and I hope you are doing well tonight. I am waiting for some of y'all to come on, and I'd like to know when you're on if you can hear me and if I need to put my AirPods in. So let me know. And in the meantime, I am going to share this page if I can. And if I need to put my AirPods in. So goodness. Hi, Stephanie. It's good to see you. Welcome aboard. Hey, Stephanie, where are you from? Can you share that? Would you be willing to share that? We're waiting for a few more. Hello, Cherie. I'm waiting for a few people to join us and trying to share to certain pages, you know, to just get more conversation going. Okay, hi. Okay, Cherie, hello. And then Stephanie, you are 50 north of Kansas City. Moms demand action. Whoops. Okay, fantastic. Kansas City, Missouri. Is that right? Is it Missouri? I always get some of the state. Texas is pretty obvious. It's Texas. So it's been a while since I remember most of those. Let's see. I'm trying to get. Okay. So I'm waiting also for, yes, okay, good. Sandy Harvey, she is my partner in MudWise, and she is, her phone just glitched, so she had to like boot it up again. She's not gonna come on here with me, but she's gonna be part of the conversation in the comments. So if I ask her, hey, would you share this link? She's gonna come up and share this link. But I will say that I thought I was gonna be a one-woman show on MudWise and just do it on myself. And I asked Sandy for coaching months ago, and we're two peas in a pod. So she does amazing things. I have really appreciated her special, unique talents, and I just find that she and I have a lot of fun together. We see eye to eye. We're both homeschool moms, so there's not much she can do wrong, in my opinion. So she's going to be my hello, Tracy. She's going to be behind my behind the scenes commenter as we go through this, and we are going to support you both in video and in comments. So if you have a Facebook page, it would honor me if you would share this video with your Facebook friends, because most of them have never heard of MudPacking. Most of them have never thought about the invisible part of their body that gets injured too. So I'm requesting that if you are confident that this is going to be amazing, hello, Sandy, she made it. She didn't know what I said about her. Then please share this page, this video with your friends. That would be great. Hey, honey. I've been MudPacking since, I think, 2014. And 2014 is when I learned how to mud pack. And it's in the book, the ebook Mud Puddles, why I started mud packing. I learned about this modality through a practitioner level education. And the best tip I ever got in my life was do this on Monday. So I learned how to mud pack, and I took that to heart because I understood what that meant. Do this on Monday meant put it into practice immediately. Don't lose momentum. Just start doing it. You will figure it out. You have learned enough. You have been proven successful in class already. And yeah, you might make a few mistakes on this, but it's not going to hurt anybody. It's mud, you know? So I did. I put it into practice. Well, a little backstory. And if you have read Mud Puddles, you will know that my daughter, she literally was the first person I mud packed after the class I took. My daughter, a year before, had gotten hit in the temple, the right temple, from a chunk of watermelon, of all things. You wouldn't think, but it was the rind. She was at a Boy Scout day camp or Cub Scout, and they threw a watermelon down and it splatted. It was really exciting and fun. Well, a piece of it came over and hit her in the temple. And there's no bruising. There was nothing that made sense as to why she would be impacted by this mud, or I'm sorry, by the watermelon. So she went home. That day, the day that it happened, she reacted drastically. So she got super fiery and mean and was frustrated, and like by the time she was in bed, like fireball tears were coming out of her eyes. I kept thinking, there's not even bruising. How could she be upset? You know, what's going on? And the next morning she woke up and she had yanked out every eyebrow and lash. Every single one were gone. And she continued to yank them out for one whole year, a whole year. So then I learned mud packing, and I thought, well, surely there must be an interference field with this area if the piece of watermelon hit her, even though there was no bruising, okay? So then I mud packed her. She thought it was a spa day because that's her love language, is quality time and girl time. So we made it up to be a spa day. She had no idea what we're doing, but she was even cute. She would, you know, do this with the mud on her eyes and be fun with it. And it was right there on her eye and the temple area. It was her palm size. And we walked out of there knowing, because there is a way to verify that we have done the job of clearing an interference field. And I'll explain that in a minute. But we cleared that interference field, and she had no clue that she stopped pulling on her brows and lashes. And within 3 months, they all grew back. And she really has beautiful eyes. In fact, she has my eyes. So I just love to know that she doesn't look bald in this area where she's just got amazing bone structure and the sparkle. You know, it was really hidden behind the fact that she didn't have any brows and lashes, and now she just looks amazing. So not that looks are everything, but whenever you're blessed with something and you're just pulling and destroying at it, you know, it's one of those things that it grieves everybody. So, okay, so biofield, interference field. The interference fields that I talk about are the energy that goes within the body and out of the body. And this sounds like woo-woo, but if you think about this, I want you to think about just the natural design of things, okay? So we have tissue, we have organs, okay? They're made of cells. What are those cells made of? Those cells are made of atoms. And what are those atoms made of? Protons, neutrons, electrons, and space. But it's active space. It's energy, okay? So all of that is energy in motion. And so when we condense our bodies down and reduce all the space, we are very tiny. We're very, very tiny people. So we are mostly energy, and it's legitimately quantitative in the scientific community that we are actually mostly energy. It's forgotten. It's a forgotten part of our bodies. So when we move into bioenergetic mud packing, we are looking to address those biofield, the energetic body of us, in and throughout all of us. Then we are actually fixing and healing things that modern medicine can't actually see. So modern medicine can see tissue. Sometimes it uses energy to see tissue, like an MRI or CAT scan or whatever, but it doesn't necessarily see the invisible biofield. And actually, through the MudWise course that's coming up in June, I'm going to teach you how to use, some people have coined it energy eyes, but I'm going to teach you how to test for energetic fixes, remediations, okay? And so you're going to see where there's remediation needs, and you're going to see where there's been remediation recovery. So you're going to see where the body has been deficient in energetic flow or too much flow, and you're going to see when it's been corrected. By all means, ask questions if you've gotten, oh, there's more questions. I'm sorry, it's not scrolling with me. Okay, all right. Hello, Karen. Hello, Rosemary Smith. All right, very good, from Panama. Well, hey, welcome. So the biofield can get squished. So my daughter, Mariah, had that hit with the watermelon, no bruising, the tissue wasn't damaged, but the electricity was. So 3 months later, her eyebrows and lashes had completely grown back. She completely forgot to pull. So the reason why I know mud packing relates to that, because, you know, some people say that correlation isn't causation, but there's a whole lot of clues. It's, you know, if it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? All right, so we're going to go on anecdotal evidence, in my opinion. So because there aren't always, nobody's looking at this except us. Okay, so I gave myself a concussion. The van door, I pulled it down on my head and it hit the same area that hurt my daughter. Not that that's real important, but it helped hit the same temple. And I actually got some compression here, even though no bruising happened. I got a concussion. I felt really, really, really weird. So I went home from hitting myself in the head, and I felt like Cecil the turtle all night long. And the next day, everything around me was very fast, and in my head everything was very slow. Although I wasn't sound sensitive or anything like that, I wasn't having trouble. It was real important to me because I already knew mud packing had made a difference in my daughter. So I went to my office and I mud packed. I did something called my downloads, which you'll learn in the course, which is a very effective pre-step to mud packing. In fact, I would venture to say that mud packing is finalized because of the pre-step. It actually makes the adjustment pretty permanent. I haven't needed to re-mud pack anything after doing what's called the downloads, which is about an hour and a half of work before you start working on those injury sites. So I mud packed, I did my downloads, and then I had mud on my head, and another area that's called a reflex point, which is why the course is really important, because you need to know how to put mud on these points. And I did that, and I went home. While the mud was on me, my head got really hot, and then it popped out. I felt something pop out, and it felt like, you know how when you get a 2-liter bottle of Coke or soda or something like that, and it's dented, and so you push on the ends and then it pops out? Well, that's what it felt like. So the mud was helping to compress enough for that to pop out. Now, another analogy that I use is a kinked garden hose. Okay, and this is energetically very important. So the 2-liter bottle is about compression and popping out, which is actually kind of what it felt like for me. But the garden hose is the principle of the garden hose is what I want you to think about. So let's say you've had 3 C-sections, right? Okay. I've had 5 and an open appendectomy. So that area needed a little TLC, I'll tell you that. And the C-sections, all the things that can, any sort of surgery, if you've got tattoos, if you've got pierced ears are fine usually. They usually, or even from what they tell me, insulin injections don't cause interference fields for most people. But hard hits, surgeries, injuries, falls, anything like that, okay? Broken bones, those can cause interference fields. Let's say you are, or know somebody that's an amputee, and they may even experience phantom pain. This is a great example of a kinked garden hose, okay? So phantom pain is pain that can come, or some people have discomfort around their C-section scar, like they have pins and needles feeling. Okay, think of the kinked garden hose. You've got one side that's got too much flow and the other side that doesn't have any, and it causes your body energetically and in the cells confusion, okay? So with those, you want to make sure that we open up the kinked garden hose so that energy can flow completely through there. So all injuries that create interference fields create a kink in the energetic flow of the body. And mud is an inexpensive and practical, like accessible way for anybody to fix that. I haven't had one energetic interference field that couldn't be fixed. I have not had one. And it's been 5 years. Yeah, close to 5 years of mud packing and teaching students. In fact, I've had these stories with my students. Some of them have worked on one interference field that completely released 10, 15 others. So let me show you this. This is, I don't know which side I want to be on. This is a chart of the body. You'd often see this at like a chiropractor, right? But we would be marking where on the body you've had injuries or surgeries or tattoos, okay? So we would be marking those parts of the body. Okay. So for me, right here on my head, I'd have a mark, and then I'd date it right here when I had that injury or what happened, okay? I recently broke a toe, so I need to mud pack the toe down here, and I would be marking all the parts of the body. Now, when we get to this is really important. Understanding the places where you've been injured along with the potential cause and effect will be huge for you. And it's actually one of those things that I'm going to go in depth with in the early bird grounding founders of MudWise. So we're going to have a very large amount of time spent on this, because this is, if you get the picture, if you understand this concept really, really well, the rest makes total sense, and it'll be nice and clear and easy, and you won't feel like you're falling behind, okay? Body mapping is critical to finding those areas that have interference fields. Let's see. Okay, so when we mud pack, we will find that sometimes you won't feel a thing, but you will notice that there are suddenly less symptoms. I'll say this, my dad had heart surgery, and so once that skin closed and the wound was sealed so that I couldn't, get mud into the cut, he had a heart valve that needed replacing because it was, they thought it was misshapen, like a birth defect. So we mud packed that. He didn't have any complications with the surgery and the site, and he actually healed really well. that is one of those areas where I think, well, I can't necessarily say MudPacking did amazing things, but at the same time, I'm going, I know MudPacking did amazing things. We just can't say what they did. Other times, people will have these radical results, and those results will be suddenly they're not pulling out their eyebrows and lashes because they're not feeling the pressure anymore. Like my daughter, and then when I did when I felt it pop, all of a sudden the pressure was relieved. So when my daughter was pulling on these, she was trying to relieve her brows and lashes by pulling, but tissue doesn't fix the biofield. So I know mud does. There may be other things on this planet that God gave us that do it, but I know mud does. And I know mud is something you can find just about anywhere. You can easily make it. So it's one of those reasons why Jesus probably decided to do mud and spit in the blind man's eyes, because it was easily available. But I have learned a lot of really cool stories about mud. And unfortunately, I would take up hours and hours as I talk about that. I hope that you have downloaded, actually, and Sandy, if you could go find the link to Mud Puddles and add it in here. So I've written an ebook, and it's a free ebook. And if you haven't gotten the ebook already, then please download it, read it, and also confirm your email address, because then I can communicate with you. I do not spam emails. I try to keep it very conservative. When something's going on, I will send you an email or two, but I try not to be too much. I don't enjoy too much, so I try to do as much as I could tolerate. I'll just say it that way. I'll treat you the same way I treat myself, or prefer myself. But the thing about MudPacking is, if you've got hard hits, surgeries, tattoos, if you've got any head injuries at all, what I've been told by my mentors in this modality is that you will be dependent on supplements your entire life just to compensate for the energetic loss in the head, where most of the meridians go through. You're going to need the support of supplements, where you could really reduce your monthly budget on supplements if you do the MudPacking. Okay, so this modality is supposed to be for practitioners only, but I've gotten it where I can teach moms and dads, and I really prefer that y'all know how to do this. Okay, you could come to my office and I would charge you $160 just for the downloads. And then it would be $40 per interference field, So if you have 16 interference fields, add that up. That's a lot of money. Or you can take this course, MudPack right along with it, get some community support when you've got a question, and then you've done it. So that's the beauty about taking this. Not only have you done it, but you can do hundreds and hundreds of other people if you ever feel so inclined. So I'm an emergency preparedness minded person. This is one of those things that I think I need to know how to do this if I am in an emergency and somebody needs help, okay? If we don't have access to the emergency room, if they aren't getting better, I can do this. I'm not bringing in medicine. I'm not adding anything into their protocol that the medical community would give them. I'm just putting mud on their bodies. So I'm not doing anything that they would have a conflict with. They couldn't argue with it. So it makes a big deal when we're down at, an emergency situation and this person has broken a leg, okay, and they're not healing well. MudPack that. If they do have an amputated limb and they're having phantom pain, we want to open up that energetic flow that got cut off, okay, that needed to be cut off, okay, but the energetic leg is actually still there. The energetic leg is still on that person. And so we want to nourish, nurture, and take care of that energetic leg that's still there, even though the tissue is gone. So this is a way of making it where the body can recover from the phantom pain, okay, even better. This is not a cure. I'm not going to diagnose a disease. I'm not going to treat diseases. And we are definitely not going to try to cure diseases, because this isn't about disease. This is about energy flow. Disease comes later, okay? There's a block in the energetic flow, and then the body struggles, and then the body struggles, and then the body takes from itself in order to try to maintain the proper blood pH, and then the body goes into decline, and then a disease process starts. This is far ahead of disease. This is not disease itself. Okay, so this is why it's a legal modality as well, because we aren't trying to give people disease names that we don't get to legally talk about. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. Hold on. I really wish the comments would scroll. Hello, I see so many more people on here. You're Rose, you're a practitioner from Trinity. I went through Trinity. I love Trinity. Love, 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 love Trinity. So I am very excited about that. Rose, did you actually see my MudPacking course in Trinity's 2.0, or did you go through Trinity before then? I'd like to know. Sandy's from Trinity as well. Karen, you can already think about 7 places on you. Karen, if you can get in this early bird grounding founders group, you're not only going to save $50 on enrollment in this course, but you're going to be able to do your kids. You've got boys, you've got an active little girl, even your husband could benefit, and potentially future clients. And Karen, you and I are definitely one of those that has in time possibilities in mind, like that we might be preparing for. And so this is something that's going to be really important when medical supplies are not going to be as available. This is really important. So not only does it help you now, but it's going to be something that prepares you in the future. So you want to, 1, not only learn this modality, but 2, you want to put it into practice. 3, you want to spread the word, because other people are going to need to know how to do this too. This is something so available to us, that I want you to make sure that you've got the skill and skill set down. So I don't just want you to take this course, I want you to apply this course. And in the early bird grounding founders community, you're going to get to not only practice the body mapping, but I'm going to challenge you to do other people as well, because you're going to learn a whole lot about where the body has the compression, like the energetic compression, and what that can affect. So we're going to look at meridians. We're going to look at organs and systems that are affected by that. We're going to look at dental, okay? We're going to look at dental as well. So we want to make sure that we look at all those areas. Let's see. Okay, with the form, Cherie Sanders, thank you, Chelsea, for doing this. With the form you teach, is it necessary to still find the reflex points? Absolutely. The way I do it is with reflex points. Cherie is actually a practitioner who does MudPacking, but she didn't learn it the way that I was taught, and I really, really value the way I was taught this, because I just don't have them blowing out. That's kind of how I describe it. I had one client that had been MudPacked a bunch before we came in and did this with that client. So we, I'm sorry, I'm seeing notifications blow up here and on my phone. I'm trying to make sure that they're only the ones that are important to this right now. So if I get a little tongue-tied, please excuse me. I definitely have that going on. I need to just like silence that. But Cherie, I was taught with some of the top acupuncturists in the world. According to Dr. Bob Marshall, I use Premier Research Labs MUD and their subtle energy remediation devices. I haven't found better. I haven't, because I've actually tried, because they're not inexpensive. They're actually kind of pricey, but the more I look, the more I look, and the more I look, I'm thinking, yeah, it's still really worth paying the higher dollar for those social subtle energy remediation devices. So I use their mud. When you join, I'll send you an email asking for your email address, your phone number, your physical address that you can be mailed to, because I'm going to set you up an account where you can order your mud supplies directly through that, and I'll give instructions in the email. Another thing that you're going to get to see is the Mud Puddles ebook will be available. I mean, of course, you've got that free download. It's great. It's fine. But what we'll do is we have Mud Puddles, and then on Amazon, Sandy is setting this up for us. On Amazon, it'll be available where you can buy it, but in the back are a whole bunch of the worksheets. And it's just another option. I personally found it to be very expensive to print it out on my own computer because there was a lot of color, and it was just easier to make a book out of it. So if you want to get Mud Puddles along with the worksheets, then by all means, I'll let you know when that's ready on Amazon. And our workbook in the MudWise course starting in June will be available on Amazon as well. Yeah. Oh, okay. Elise is on here as well. Elise is in the dental industry. She's a holistic practitioner in the dental industry. Wow, that was hard for me to say. She said to remember to ask if there has been a tongue tie or lip tie release surgery. Okay. I'm so glad you're on here, Elise. Yes, that is extremely important. So right here, or lip tie, we want to make sure that that is addressed. Those can be interference fields. Absolutely. So I'm so glad you said that because I completely forgot about it. Yes. So if they've had a tongue tie or lip tie release, we want to make sure that they're addressed. Any sort of oral surgery can cause an interference field. And because your mouth is the circuit breaker to your body, you don't want interference fields in your mouth. So we will go through in the course dental interference field assessment, remediation, and then testing to make sure that you've done the job. So let's see. Okay, not testing on all polarities. Okay, yes. Sheree Sanders says not testing on all polarities is also a probability. Other mud, that is, yeah. So one of the if you don't have access to this extremely nutritive, dense mud, I'm going to say go for the next best thing. However, I do encourage you strongly to order the mud through Premier Research Labs through my account. So there's a reason why it's chosen by this product line. If I've ever met a pickier product line company, I'll say that. I'm saying that with extreme confidence because I have looked and looked and looked. If I have ever met a pickier company, this is it. And you want them to be picky because you matter, right? You matter. So I use their mud. I don't go to my backyard and scoop some mud up. But I have used Michigan beach sand, and I have done like just my downloads while I was on vacation. Oh my goodness. It was as if I had a margarita without any toxins in it. It was amazing. So if you are on vacation and can find some clean mud, by all means, go ahead, do your downloads. But as far as like working on these repair sites, get the good mud. Get it. It'd be amazing to take care of that. Okay. So the early bird grounding founders, I hope y'all appreciate the cuteness of my grounding because I felt very cute about that. So the grounding founders group, this group is going to be an early group. So you're not actually going to be doing the full course yet. You are of course paid for the full course, and that will start in June. But the early bird group is a specific inner circle group, I just want to say that we will be talking a great deal, and I'm going to be not only learning from you, but I'm also going to be teaching you about body mapping and the significance of it. And I'm not just going to be talking about body mapping, you're going to be doing body mapping. So there's a significant assignment, and then we're going to be talking about case studies in this early bird group, this grounding founders group. So it is very important. You're going to save $50 on the course. You're going to save $50. You're going to be in the inner circle. You're going to be the grounding founders, okay? And then we're going to go over case studies. I'm even going to pick some of y'all to do these case studies on. I'm hoping that you'll send me your body maps and I can talk about them. We can have live Q&A sessions through Zoom. So I can set up a Zoom video call and we can all be on there, kind of like the Brady Bunch. And I can see all your beautiful faces and we can interact. And that's, I actually really look forward to those, because when I'm on the live end and I'm just seeing words here and not actually talking back with you, I feel slightly deflated because I really love good conversation with my friends. But these video Zoom calls where everybody's lined up and I see everybody and you can ask those questions, and I think it's fantastic. So I just want you to know that while you're jumping in a few months early, you will be really ready when we start. And I want to know that you're going to be there to celebrate these new people that come in June and join us, and we start up this course. So I have a Facebook group that once you join, so you'll go to, I'll add the link in here. It's also on MudWise, the page, the link to buy the course as an early bird grounding founder. There's a link on there and we can add it in the comments also. But once you join, you also request to be in the Facebook group. And with the early bird group, I'm going to be doing, hello Dawn, I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives with y'all, okay? And we're going to be talking back and forth through that group. Once we launch the full-blown course in June, I'm going to add you into the full-blown course group. Of course, we're going to stay in our inner circle group as well, you know, just between us girls or whoever's in here, you know, maybe some men even. I hope some men join. Usually it's girls. Not objected to men joining whatsoever. Then we're going to combine forces and join them, but you are going to be their biggest, best cheerleaders, and you're going to actually make an impact in their lives as well. And this community that we're going to develop between now and then, you know, we're going to be powerful. We're going to be effective. We're going to help other people heal. And it's not just me. It's going to be you. You're going to be valuable. You're going to be a contribution. And who knows where we've got people coming from. We may have people coming from Taiwan. You know, I don't know. We may have people coming from Canada. We just want to be able to touch as far and wide as we can. And MudPacking is such an amazing modality, because if we release those energetic blocks, our bodies can communicate better. The hypothalamus can talk to the cells better. There's nothing in the way. There's nothing in the way when our hypothalamus and cells are talking, except maybe the sludge that we need to clear out as well, but there's not that energetic block. So we want to make sure that there's no energetic blocks. Then we want to make sure that we help our body do its normal filtration and drainage. We want to have the hypothalamus communicating with the cells. We want the digestion working effectively so that we can digest, assimilate, and eliminate toxins. We can assimilate our food, eliminate toxins. And then our filtration and drainage glands, they need to be open and doing what they're supposed to do and dump what they don't need anymore. So all those things are extremely important. And mud, believe it or not, can help. It can help a lot. So we want to make sure that we create the space, literally the space our body needs to move and breathe. And as far as what I'll explain in the course, mud will get you there. Mud will help open up those pathways. It's not the only solution. However, it is a major interruption to the solution. So let me see if I can see any more comments. Okay, Karen, if I had a head injury in 7th grade, could I still have an issue from it? Yes. 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 In fact, some people don't even know they had a head injury. So we have a method of being able to test where those injury fields, the interference fields are. It's a very simple way of doing it. And it's non-intrusive. It's not awkward. It's just a way of muscle testing, muscle response testing through those areas and finding where we're weak. They will show up where we put our where we test. So yes, you can absolutely still have a head injury from the 7th grade, even though you feel better. I had a student. She heard about this class, knew she had to come, knew it. And she took the class. She had fallen she's also in the Mud Puddles ebook. Okay. She's actually one of my favorite stories to tell, because if you were in class with me when she came back the next day, your heart would be leaping. Okay. She had a head injury from a fall from about 25 years ago. She slipped on ice and hit her head, and it flattened in the back of her head. Okay. And her head became hypersensitive for 25 years. So she was not shampooing. She was doing the no poo method, although she's pretty crunchy to begin with. So that might have been a personal preference, but she couldn't have her hair touched. She got her hair cut once a year because it meant somebody touching her head. Okay. So she had, her kids could never play with her hair. They couldn't braid her hair. I love that. It's one of those things that just makes my eyes roll back in my head when my kids are playing with my hair. It's very comforting. She couldn't have that. She couldn't handle it. So she mud packed. She did her downloads. She did her head. She did a few other things. I think she had a tattoo. I might be getting her into another person put together. She went home to bed that night. She got home late. I think we went out to dinner after class, had sushi or something. And then she came back the next day and she was all lit up, super excited. And I got it on video camera. I recorded the video, but she went to bed and her husband was already asleep. So when he woke up in the next morning, he was like, "Hey, honey, how was class?" And she goes, "Well, I was doing mud, I did my head," and she starts touching it and it feels completely different. And she doesn't have pain on her head. The next morning, the pain was gone. And she came to class going, "Touch my head. This feels amazing." And she was constantly hitting her head because she was making sure, it was like pinching herself. It was amazing. It was remarkable. So I am still in communication with her. I'm still saying, "Hey, how's your head?" "It's good. It's doing great." In fact, I might even bring her on at some point and share her story with some of y'all, because the radical shift it's been in her life has been profound. She had big, fat, joyful tears in the class. Let's see. Okay. In June, Dawn, we will start the course. I will get you set up with my Premier Research Labs account. You'll be like under me. That way you can just go in directly and order the mud you want. That way, if you want to order more for your son, let me just say this. Y'all do not want me to mail you stuff because I hate the post office. Well, I don't hate the post. I hate going to the post office. So you want to be able to go directly to your account on Premier Research Labs and order it. But you are absolutely able to get what you need delivered to you at any point afterwards, even, through class and later, like a year later, you can still order mud. As long as I have an account with them, you'll have an account with them. And they have a high minimum. And so it makes it hard for people, first of all, if they're not practitioners with certain levels of education, but also some practitioners just want a little bit of mud. They don't want a ton. And so they don't meet the minimum criteria. So this is really good to be able to go in under me and get that. Let's see. Rose talked about Michigan beach sand to do downloads. I have black tar looking volcanic sand in my backyard. Can I try that? I don't know, Rose, If that is good mud or not, I'll have to teach you how to test that. And I don't know. In an emergency, it's going to make an improvement. Most likely, I will teach you how to test the mud. But my wish, while you're doing your downloads, you don't have to go looking for mud. I know a perfect source for it, and it'll be in that account that I want to create for you. That source has never done me wrong. Never. They test where it is on what's called all four polarities. So it's going to meet the physical, structural, nutritional. It's going to meet the emotional and the biofield needs of the body. Okay. It tests excellent on all of those areas. Where mud might be somewhat deficient in one area, they actually create the mud to meet all those needs. So they harvest it, it's very clean mud, and then they add the nutrient dense properties to it. And so I prefer not to do any mud packing for injuries except with that. And then I test the mud or the sand once I get to a location. If I feel like just relaxing and doing a little TLC on my body, I will do that. So you're welcome. Okay, I sure wish this was scrolling, but it's not going to. Okay, well, so in this group, there will be a comment that will be how to join the Early Bird Grounding Founders group. Okay, that is a $50 discount from the course that will start in June. We already will have. We will start off. I'll post a itinerary in the group in the next day or two. And we will start off with the body mapping. What's important about it? If you are already a very experienced body mapper as a practitioner, you can be in there with us supporting others and also get that discount. But we want to make sure that you know where you're going and that you got the discount and that you're getting this TLC with this little group of us. I'm hoping it's not tiny, but a smaller group than just the full-blown course, okay? And so we're gonna have some good quality case studies. We're gonna go over those body maps. I'm gonna ask you to body map your friends, and I want you to understand what's going on with their bodies, what organs and systems are having to compensate for these biofield injuries, okay? So we are going to make sure that we do all of that. All right. Dawn, I'm so glad you joined today. Thank you. How ready are you? You are perfectly ready to be in the Early Bird group. We will learn what we need in the Early Bird group. We're going to expand that for y'all specifically. It won't be as expanded in the course, and so y'all are going to get a deep dive into the body mapping and why it's so critical to understand these biofield injuries. So I'm excited for you. Okay, so yes, the enrollment, Sandy just posted. It was a good copy and paste, and she posted the link for the way to purchase into the group. So once you get in, you're going to get an email, and it'll say to go to the Facebook group. That is where I need you to go. If you're lost in All Good Things Academy, then go back to. Yay, Cherie! Hi, Mark. Go back to the email or go back to the link that says join the Facebook group. If you have paid and that information got mixed up, the name of the Facebook group is MudWise Grounding Founders, something like that. I'll post the link to the group in here too. But it'll ask you what email you use to join, and so that way I can verify if you've paid. That way we don't have strangers walking into that group. And once the cart closes for this, I'm going to make that group secret so that nobody else tries to come into the group or requests, because I have other Facebook groups on MudPacking, and people are still over a year later trying to get in the group. And I'm like, oh, but I've got this course available coming down the road. So anyway. Okay, yes. If there's any other questions, by all means, put them here because I am still watching this. and I will answer them. Sandy and I will both be answering them. And I am very excited to see y'all. And if there's any questions about MudPacking, how it helps you, why this group is important, why would it benefit you to save money and then join the course, because your efforts could multiply dramatically for not only your family, but your friends. In fact, if you've got a friend that you want to be in this community, bring them to this live video, explain MudPacking a little bit. If you have other questions, I'm available by messenger if you want to talk to me. So I would love to answer your questions. I'd love to help. I want you to get in this class, and if it means, you know, spending a few minutes with you and explaining it privately, I'll do that, okay? Because I want you in there because I care about your biofield. I've just seen such amazing results with this. And I don't know if you've seen it on the Mud Puddles ebook. Some of our clients aren't even people. They're not humans. I have worked on horses, and wow, in the original ebook, and I don't even think I've amended it, I worked on a horse named LJ last summer. And I worked on him, and he had this huge, deep dent in his head. When he was 3 days old, he ran into a fence post, and it, you know, the herd kind of just pushed him in there, you know, and it was all soft cartilage. And he had this big dent in his head. And this is a sweet horse. A sweet man horse. I don't know how to explain him. I picked him, and then I saw the dent in his head. I'm like, why am I supposed to be with you? And I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to mud pack you. So I did equine assisted learning with my friend Carol. Westward Journey is her business name. And if you ever get out to Chapel Hill, Tennessee, go do the equine assisted learning with Carol, because I had some radical explorative, God just revealed some amazing things through the horses about what was going on in my life. It was pretty amazing. And LJ was my partner. So I mud packed LJ, and I didn't see any results when I left. I went back 4 months later for another class. And it was a, you know, like a practitioner retreat, because practitioners are always pouring out and we never get to really pour into ourselves. So that was remarkable, but we had a retreat for that. And I looked at him again, and his dent in 4 months that had been hardened into bone had come up more than halfway in 4 months. So his body was moving it. Oh yeah, Sandy said LJ loved it. Oh gosh, that horse, he thought the mud was candy, and it was very good for him. So it was okay to give him some. In fact, part of mud packing is mud packing in the gut while you're mud packing. So it's kind of cool that he intuitively knew he needed some mud in his stomach. So it's amazing. Okay, the 15th through the 17th. So this opportunity ends on the 17th at midnight. There is a slight chance I'll not make the midnight cutoff and shut off the thing, but that's my intention. And then everybody who comes in after wanting to be a part of it, they'll be put on a wait list, and I'll give them the opportunity to join in June. So if you don't quite get someone to the, you know, the join button by the 17th, still send them this way, and they'll get on the waiting list, and then I'll send a message to them in June. Okay, when we're ready to open the cart for the regular course at the regular price, and which it's not radically higher, except, you know, man, if we can save $50, let's do it anytime. Actually, that would be a great savings for the mud you need to, you know, you'd want to have. So thinking of that, yeah, Carol. Okay, yeah, we'll have to share some pics of LJ in the group, yeah, because I kind of have a crush on LJ. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate y'all being with me, sticking with me for this live. If you have any further questions, by all means, keep commenting. It's fine. I'll be checking on this. I'll get notifications, and I want to communicate with you. If you need to have a side conversation about this, please do. We will definitely be available to meet those needs as well. But I'd love to see you in the Early Bird Grounding Founders group. And thank you so much for being with me today. Y'all take care.